If you have been anywhere on the internet since the season 4 finale dropped, you know the community is absolutely losing its mind, and rightfully so. We just witnessed the most chaotic, devastating, and lore heavy episode in the history of this show. We had daylight instantly turning into pitch black night. We had massive ground splitting earthquakes. We had red lightning shooting out of the earth directly into the sky like something out of Stranger Things. And of course, we had that absolute gut punch of a cliffhanger with Sophia tossing every single protective talisman down a faraway tree, leaving the entire town completely defenseless. It is so easy to get caught up in the explosive spectacle of episode 10. But I am here to tell you that if you are only looking at the finale to figure out where season 5 is going, you are looking in the wrong place. To understand how the survivors are going to survive this talismanless nightmare, and more importantly, how they are finally going to escape Fromville, we have to rewind. We have to go back to season 4. Episode 2 titled Fray. Episode 2 isn't just a great hour of television. It is the master blueprint. It is the Rosetta Stone of season 4. It laid down the exact rules, the exact physics, and the exact emotional stakes that paid off in the finale. Every single major twist we just witnessed in episode 10 was telegraphed weeks earlier in episode 2. In this massive deep dive, we are going to break down exactly why episode 2 holds all the answers, how it perfectly set up the devastating events of the season 4 finale, and why a specific vision given to the youngest member of the Matthews family is the ultimate clue to breaking this cursed cycle once and for all. Chapter 1: The Brutal Price of Knowledge and the Town's Retaliation. Let's start by looking at the opening shockwave of episode 2, because this established the overarching theme of the entire season. The town was reeling from the loss of Jim Matthews. But the true horror wasn't just losing Jim, it was the cruel, theatrical reality of his fate. When Julie and Ethan find his body hanging upside down in the barn, dripping blood, it wasn't a random monster attack, it was a highly orchestrated message from the entity controlling the town. And the most crucial detail of that episode was the message written in white on the wall next to him: Knowledge comes at a cost. This single phrase completely rewrote the rules of engagement. It confirmed Jade's worst fears. The town isn't just a passive random prison. It operates on a twisted, cruel logic, where digging for the truth is the one crime that carries a mandatory death sentence. The town actively punishes curiosity. Now, take that rule from episode 2 and apply it directly to the absolute chaos of the episode 10 finale. In the finale, Jade and Tabitha make their desperate do-or-die play. They don't just ask questions. They literally uproot the town's magical infrastructure by pulling down the bottle tree by its roots to access the cavern below. They are digging up the literal foundation of Fromville to steal the Ankoui children's bones. And what happens? The town immediately attempts to collect on the debt they incurred. Because they sought knowledge, the cost is immediately extracted. The moment the bottle tree is fully pulled out, sunlight shines directly on the cowboy monster, causing him to panic and back away, revealing they cannot enter the sunlight. But the entity controlling the town refuses to let them win. To bypass this sunlight weakness, the town violently alters its own reality. Broad daylight instantly turns into pitch black night out of nowhere. A massive earthquake erupts, causing rocks and boulders to collapse inside the caves, cutting off paths just like the destruction seen in Game of Thrones. Up above, the roots of the uprooted tree shoot severe, red lightning directly upward into the sky across all of Fromville. The entity is screaming, "You wanted the bones? This is what it costs." The chaos of the finale, the darkness, the earthquake, the lightning, is the direct physical manifestation of the rule established in episode 2. Knowledge comes at a cost. Chapter 2. The Reincarnation Trap and Jade's Heroic Evolution episode 2 is also where the lore of the show took a massive leap forward regarding the nature of the town's inhabitants. This was the episode where Jade and Tabitha finally pieced together their true, terrifying purpose. They realize that they are likely reincarnations of Christopher and Miranda. They haven't just been here for a few months. Their souls have been coming back to Fromville, cycle after cycle, generation after generation, trying and failing to save the children and break the loop. In episode 2, Jade realizes a horrifying truth. The cycle will not stop by itself. The town is designed to reset. Someone has to actively, physically break the mechanics of the game, and that requires an unprecedented sacrifice. Understanding this cyclical context makes Jade's actions in the season 4 finale incredibly profound and deeply heroic. Jade has historically been the arrogant, self centered passenger who tries to drive from the back seat. But in episode 10, he takes the front line. Down in the caves, surrounded by monsters, Jade tells Tabitha to stay back and reveals a heartbreaking truth. He lied to her. He tells her that the bones will not stop the monsters from coming into the chamber once the tree is pulled out. He knew all along that removing the tree was a death trap, but he hid it from Boyd because he knew Boyd would scrap the whole plan. Jade willingly walks into a suicide mission. He decides to sacrifice himself so that Tabitha can climb up the ladder to safety with the children's remains. He looks at her and delivers one of the most emotional lines of the series. I'm glad it was you that I got to spend all of those lifetimes with. This is the ultimate payoff to the reincarnation realization in episode 2. Jade knows that Christopher failed. He knows Miranda failed. He knows that in every past lifetime, they lost. So, in this lifetime, he decides to trade his life to ensure Tabitha gets those bones to the surface. He breaks the cycle of failure by choosing selfless sacrifice. It is a brilliant, full circle moment for his character that completely validates the setup from early in the season. Chapter 3. The threat within Sophia's masterclass in sabotage, while Jade and Tabitha are fighting a physical war in the caves. The true horror of season 4 is the psychological war happening on the surface. And again, to understand the devastating final shot of the finale, we have to look back at Sophia's long game, which officially began in episode 2. In Frey, we saw Sophia, the physical manifestation of the man in the yellow suit, use the town's grief to weave her way into their inner circle. She faked her mourning, she played the innocent victim, and she specifically targeted fractured, vulnerable residents. She proved that the ultimate villain doesn't need to hide in the woods. They can walk right up to you in broad daylight and offer you a shoulder to cry on. This psychological infiltration in episode 2 is exactly what allows her to pull off her devastating masterstroke in the episode 10 finale. Because she spent the entire season earning their trust, she is able to walk freely around the panicked town without raising a single alarm. It is absolutely perplexing that no one picked up on her sneaking around, but that is exactly how she operates, as a pure agent of chaos holding the story back. Let's look at the absolute carnage she causes in the finale, the murder of Elgin. She traps Elgin in the back of the diner and offers him a sinister bargain, the same one she offered Clara, promising to send him home if he helps her. When Elgin refuses and begins to pray, Sophia mocks his prayers, grips his hands, and brutally kills him, causing him to bleed from his eyes and mouth. She doesn't even flinch, later telling Clara to simply get rid of the body because it's not her problem, the sabotage. We learn that the reason the rope ladder broke, trapping Jade and Tabitha in the caves with the monsters, is because Sophia actively sawed and cut the rope in the previous episode, the ultimate cliffhanger. While the town is distracted by the red lightning, Sophia systematically steals the protective talismans from the diner, the church, and the sheriff's station. She meets up with Clara, who has gathered the rest from the homes, and walks into the woods. This leads to the final, jaw-dropping scene of the season. Sophia is walking in the woods when the boy in white appears beside her, noting that she has grown up. The boy in white tells her they have the bones and confidently states, "You're going to lose this time." Sophia simply replies, "I've always admired your optimism. I guess we'll see." Before violently dumping every single talisman, the town possesses down into the darkness of a faraway tree. This scene confirms everything episode 2 hinted at. This is a game between entities of light and dark, akin to Jacob and the man in black from Lost. Sophia's strategy wasn't to fight the town with monsters. Her strategy was to strip them of their defenses from the inside out. Season 5 is going to open with a town that has absolutely zero protection against the creatures of the night. Chapter 4. The Lake of Tears and the Ankoui Bones. If the town is unprotected, how do they win? This brings us to the most important connection between episode 2 and the finale, the physical escape route. In episode 2, while the adults are busy surviving, Ethan receives a profound vision. He sees a manifestation of his deceased father, Jim, by the RV. Jim gives Ethan a very specific cryptic instruction. Find the Lake of Tears. Since season 1, the Lake of Tears has been teased as a mythical place of resurrection or deep magic. Episode 2 confirmed it is real, it is accessible, and it is vital to their survival. Now, fast forward to the finale. Jade and Tabitha are desperately digging through the cavern. Tabitha grabs a bag of skulls and bones and has a sudden, heartbreaking realization. She holds a specific skull and has a flashback, realizing it belongs to the little Ankoui girl, the one specific child they hadn't seen yet this season. They have the bones. The boy in white explicitly confirms this is a game changing move. But what do you do with a bag of ancient, cursed bones? This is where the episode 2 blueprint comes in. You don't just bury them in the town cemetery where there is no more room anyway. You take them to the source of the magic. The end game is now crystal clear. The survivors must take the bones of the Ankoui children and lay them to rest in the Lake of Tears. Ethan is the guide, Tabitha is the carrier, and the lake is the destination. Returning the children to the lake is the physical ritual required to break the loop, defeat Sophia, and send the survivors home. Chapter 5 Collateral Damage. Proving no one is safe. If episode 2 taught us anything with Jim's death, it's that plot armor does not exist in Fromville. The writers enforce consequences, and the episode 10 finale was an absolute bloodbath of collateral damage that proved no character is safe because Sophia caused the earthquake. A talisman was knocked off the door in the clinic. This minor environmental shift allowed Smiley to simply walk through the door. In a terrifying and tragic sequence, Mariel tries to defend Fatima with a knife, but Smiley peels his face back and slices Mariel's stomach wide open. Mariel bleeds out and dies, sharing one final heartbreaking kiss with Christy, leaving Christy absolutely shattered and sobbing on the floor. We also saw the terrifying culmination of Henry's blood-induced visions. Convinced that the town is a dream and he needs to sever the anchor, Henry steals a revolver and points it directly at Victor, apologizing and preparing to shoot him. It is only because Ethan walks into the room at the exact right second that Victor is able to tackle Henry and push the gun away, screaming, "You said you would protect me." But the most shocking casualty of the finale belongs to Fatima. Down in the collapsed tunnels, Boyd Ellis, Jade, and Tabitha are cornered by monsters. Fatima, who earlier was called Mother by Smiley, realizes they are out of time. She steps forward, tells Ellis, "Remember who I was," and fully transforms into a terrifying monster right in front of them. She uses her transformation to distract the creatures, buying Boyd and the others the crucial time they need to escape the tunnels. Fatima sacrificed her humanity to save her family. But what does this mean for season 5? Is she permanently one of the creatures now? Will the other monsters accept her? Or will they tear her apart for protecting the humans? Conclusion. The board is set for season 5. When you put all these pieces together, the brilliance of season 4 becomes undeniable. Episode 2 wasn't just early season setup, it was the exact map that the finale followed to the letter. It established the brutal cost of knowledge, it confirmed the endless cycle of reincarnation, it revealed the ultimate destination in the Lake of Tears, and it allowed Sophia to seamlessly infiltrate the town to steal their only protection. The board is set for a monumental season 5. Our survivors are trapped in a town with a dark sky, red lightning, and absolutely zero talismans to keep the monsters out. But for the first time in centuries, the boy in white is confident. Why? Because Tabitha and Jade secured the bones. The pieces are finally in place for Ethan to guide them to the Lake of Tears and finish the game. What do you guys think? Will Fatima survive in the caves as a monster? How will the town survive the very first night without a single talisman on their doors? And do you agree that episode 2 was the most important episode of the season? Drop your theories, your predictions, and your wildest guesses down in the comments below. We are going to be dissecting this finale for months. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video to support the channel, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single deep dive. We are in this nightmare together, Fromville. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.